Hello again. I noticed in the last video I recorded that you can't see the mouse, so I was kind of indicating a lot with the mouse, so I'll try and bear that in mind in this one. So this one was inspired by the movie or the short animation called Paths of Hate, and it featured a lot of clouds rendered as billboards, which is essentially a grid with a texture on. And doing it this way is a lot of control for an artistic look. And well, I'll show you some examples quick so you can kind of see what I'm talking about before I show you how I made it. So I tried to replicate the technique. So if I just show you some examples. So essentially it's lots of different textures of clouds, and transparency and size and orientation is controlled by ice. So I mean, it's alright. It's very kind of painterly effects, and you can do quite. It's not very good for volumes or moving stuff, but for kind of like a wispy smoke effect, it's alright. So I'll show you how to make that, or how I made that anyway. So we'll do a dinosaur one. So we've got a dinosaur here. I think I've set this up already with to render with the sky. So I'm rendering with Final Gathering, and so I can get some nice shadow and lighting from the sky, which you would in a cloud kind of. It's as close as you're going to get with a really simple setup. So first thing we need to do is apply a render map. We need to get this texture as a render map onto this. So I've done one earlier just to make sure it works. So I'm just setting this up from scratch. So there's a material on there, so we'll just get rid of that. So there's a lambda on there for now. What I need to do is just render map property render map. There we go. So I know 512 will do for now because it's just a simple thing, just to show you what's doing. La la la. And we'll call this render map dino. Okay, so I'll just render that. It shouldn't take too long. And now we want to check our render map is on there. Just bring the texture in. So bring the image to the render tree. This on here, and new source. No, I'll just have to find it. So render pictures. Render pictures. There, hopefully that's it. Whew. Okay, and I chose the dinosaur because it's already got text projection. So now we can see that it's baked in the lighting onto the geometry. So what we need to do is now just emit this, emit some grids from it essentially, which are going to have the textures of the clouds on them. So I just create basic emission, and we want a total number of particles, and I think I've got some passes set up on this, so I just need to add the cloud to the current pass. There we go. So I mean, the scene I was playing with, it's a big old scene, so I think the sizes are just huge on this. I don't want this to be a grid, rectangle. Okay, so they're still not really that big, so it's 300. Okay, so now you're seeing them on there, but they're all facing one way, and we just need to randomize them up a bit. So if I just bring the ice tree up, where that was made. So if we just emit, we don't actually need this. I'm not simulating anything. We're just going to be stationary on there. So I don't know, 400. We just want to randomize the orientation first. So randomize rotation by cone. That's a good one. Plug that into orientation, and I'll put that at -90. There. So that's a randomly orientated set of discs, and now we need them to be an object, be an instance object. So if we select the instance shape and we plug that into there, now we can pick a group, and here's a group I made earlier. This is just a group of, I'll show you quick. So if I just get my groups, we should, yeah. So you can see that I've just got. I was reading a paper on how to do this, and a bit of research, and these are actually the clouds just grabbed from the PDF. So they're really low res, but it's just to illustrate the example of it working. So there's our clouds there. I've got a texture on these as well, where I'm using the attributes from the cloud. So I'm using the colour here, and I'm mixing in another attribute called my alpha. So I'm controlling the colour from the colour of the particle, and the alpha with the ice tree as well, just to give me a bit more flexibility on how it's controlled. So I do need to remember to apply that my alpha. In fact, let's do that now. So the colour's being applied. We're going to apply the colour in a minute, but let's just set data. I'll do self dot my alpha. I think it was a scalar. I'll just plug that into there. So it's the overall alpha level, so we'll just put that on 1 for now, so we can see. So let's get the dinosaur. Where's he? Go out. Yeah. So there's the dinosaur again. So he's got the texture. Oh, actually, I don't think he's got a texture map on. So we need to apply the texture map of the render map, if you see what I mean. So if we go property, texture map. Now, ICE doesn't read the material, although we put a material on it, and that's what we see in the viewport. It's not a texture map. Texture map is something that ICE can read directly from the UVs. So we just pick our dinosaur that we had. We should have it here somewhere. I think it was that one. No, that's the other one. Let's try. No, let's find it again. It's really annoying because I'm moving there, that one. And that's the texture projection. So now in ICE we should be able to get data. We should, well, we want to get, we want to get the emit position, emit location, get back. So what happens is when the particles are emitted, they have a location that they were emitted from, and on that location we want to get the data from the texture map that we built. Perfect. So there's the particle emit location. The texture map is a colour. If we now plug that into colour, we should be setting. Oh, let's just go coloured mode for now. Colour. So we're not setting the particle colour. Oh yeah, I know why, because we've set it to this shape, so if we put that back to rectangle again, we should be seeing the colours. Yeah, there you go. So it's the colours from the render map that's applied as a texture map, and then read as ice. So the reason why we won't see them is because we'd actually applied a grid to them, on the instance shape. So a way to apply that grid and set the particle display. So we'll set that. So if we move it back now, we're back to having the grid on, which doesn't have the colour. So we just need to be on rectangle, and even though we've got an instant shape plugged in, it should work. Oh, and by the way, I need to set a randomize onto the index of the group, because otherwise I'll just pick the first item in the group. So there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 items in the group, and we don't want it animated. So now it'll pick a random one of the 6 to pick of the clouds. And, oh, sorry, let's hide the dinosaur. And I think they could just probably be a bit bigger as well, so let's just randomise the size. Put that to size. Oh, missed. 100 and 500, let's make it massive. And fill this up. So now, hopefully, there you go, we have particle billboards. They don't look very cloud-like because you have to worry about the angle and... Oh yeah, I could put the transparency down quick and show you. So now if we set this value that we set earlier, which was the my alpha, which I had in the render tree of each instance grid, so if we put that down to, I don't know, 0.1, I think we have to do a refresh. Yeah, so this should control the overall alpha, yeah, of the cloud. So that's working okay-ish. Now obviously with better textures and better orientation, you know, you can try them face into the camera. In fact, I'll show you the renders that I did, because they do get a bit better. So this is all exactly that technique. I think the next one's alright. It's yeah, so this one's a bit better because I'm trying to fade out as they get to the edge or to an acute angle, so it's really left with just the front facing ones. But I don't know, it's not the best effects, but it's good in some instances, and I think for misty stuff it's really good. I'll just speed this one up. Yeah, you know, it works up okay as a high resolution texture, and up close and passing through it's fine, but for animation and billowy clouds it's not good. Okay, so that's that one.